Today we'll be walking through Merchants Row, the financial district of Boston, to ask why the merchants of this great nation have put their trust in me.
Ever since Bowdoin went to extreme lengths to replace Britain with France as our economic partner, my company has increased profits significantly. I have a new consumer market for my whale oil export.
This guy is a financial mastermind. He has significantly reduced the debt in the state of Massachusetts. A couple of years ago, it was £1,500,000. But with his plan, it'll be gone in 15 years.
I personally agree with Bowdoin's decision to regulate trade with Great Britain. They are an obstacle to the restoration of the American economy.
In order to restore our economy, Bowdoin was a big proponent of strengthening Congress's power to regulate commerce, especially when it comes to foreign trade. He knows what's right for this country, and there's no doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah, I 100% support Bowdoin. He really sympathizes with us hard-working merchants. I mean, he was a merchant himself, and he knows how the economic system of this country should be run. He has done everything in his power as governor to make Massachusetts a financial powerhouse.
Good evening, and welcome to our interview with James Bowdoin, presidential candidate for the election of 1788 and current governor of Massachusetts. I'm James Rivingston, and I'm honored to welcome Mr. Bowdoin to our broadcast.
Thanks, James. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here, Mr. Bowdoin. But now let's get down to business. What makes you the best candidate for our first presidential elect?
Well, James, I feel that I'm the best option for the fledgling states for multiple reasons. I have an extensive background in both politics and leadership. I was one of 28 members of the General Court of the Metropolis of Boston. I was elected to attend the Continental Congress for Massachusetts in 1774, which I was not able to attend due to health reasons. Later that year, I was chosen as president of the Executive Council of Massachusetts.
Now, I heard you were chosen as president of the Executive Council because of your patriotism, intelligence, and discretion. Could you elaborate a little bit about your background prior to these honors?
Absolutely, James. I was lucky to be born into a wealthy family. My father and grandfather were both successful merchants, and I acquired an estate early in my life. I studied ethics, philosophy, jurisprudence, and politics at Harvard in 1745 when I was 18 years old.
Wow, that's quite a track record you have. Are there any other accomplishments you'd like to share with us?
In fact, yes. In 1785, I was elected governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. While in power, I ended the farmer insurrection, commonly known as Shays' Rebellion. I rectified the debt crisis in our state, as well as restored credit to thousands of citizens. Shays' Rebellion was a threat to American liberty. The object of these insurgents was to annihilate our present and happy Constitution, or to force the General Court into measures repugnant to every idea of justice, good faith, and national policy. Success on the part of the insurgents would have created a despotism in its worst form. The biggest threat to American liberty at this time is armed rebellions aimed against the government.
Now, moving on, clearly you were not a fan of the Articles of Confederation. How do you feel about our new Constitution?
I feel that the new Constitution is the proper solution to the state of our country. I believe that in order to properly rule, we need the three branches of government. Our new system we enacted will balance power and not allow one branch to overtake the other two, which is the beauty of the system. I was a staunch believer in strengthening Congress during the Articles of Confederation, and I am more than pleased that the Constitution gives Congress more economic power and centralization.
All right, well, that's all the time we have. But thank you, Mr. Bowdoin, for being so kind and stopping by to answer a few questions. And good luck in the upcoming election.
Thank you, James. And remember, vote for James Bowdoin.
Up next, we interview Martha Washington, recent widow, after that horrible party boat accident. Stay tuned.
James, my good friend, it is so good to sit down and have this conversation.
Likewise, Samuel Adams, my good friend.
Let me just say that even though I am running against you in this election, you are by far the best candidate. I mean, you're intellectual, a patriot, an advocate of natural rights and free representation, and still you have such uncanny wit.
Oh, Sam, that's enough.
And modest, too. Looking back, at the time when this country was at the breaking point with Britain, the former mother country, what did you think of the matter?
I'll admit that at first I was a proponent of reconciliation. Looking back, I believe that the separation between the two countries would be the destruction of perhaps the greatest empire on earth. But after the writs of assistance caused the seizure of my father-in-law's ship, the Sarah, the massacre of innocent Bostonians during the Boston Massacre, and the onslaught of seditious and tyrannical acts that subjected our people to slavery, drove me to patriotism and a champion of the Revolution. My only regret from this time is that I wasn't able to serve in the Continental Congress, for alas, even though I was elected, my ailing wife and personal illness beckoned me to stay home. The revolution was a political, economic, and ideological break which has changed the very course of history.
Now that the bloodshed has ceased, the physical bloodshed, do you still view Great Britain as a threat to our liberties, as something that will hamper the growth of our new nation?
Well, Samuel, Britain as of now is essentially an economic threat, and it is an obstacle in the restoration of our economy and trade. Britain, for some ungodly reason, has set up an economic system after the revolution that is damaging to both our economies. In order to alleviate this tension, I championed for the Congress to have additional powers to regulate our commerce and regulate foreign trade. Britain's commodities are essentially superfluous and are unnecessary in this great American society.
Oh, James, it was such a pleasure to speak with you. I don't even see me voting for myself in this election.
Oh, Sam,
Good
it was
day.
a pleasure.
Good day.